Had a couple questions from people asking me about the bed rise on a Squarebody. I figured we'd get a video together, put something together real quick to kind of explain. There's a video on YouTube where we actually looked at, the guy had good intentions, but I don't think he ever finished his video. So we're going to pick up where he left off. I'll put a link in that one also. We have these Porter-built bed risers. So we need to bring the bed up 8 3/4 of an inch. So let me come over here. I've already got the passenger side done, mocked up. It's actually, the whole bed floor has been moved up 8 3/4. I took 1.5 inches off the inner fenders. All tacked in place. The problem that you have is when you raise the bed anything above 7 inches, you actually have to shorten the inner tubs. Take my measurements. I start from the bottom lip here and I measure up. So in this case, our first cut mark is at 6. Our second one is at 14 3/4 of an inch. It keeps it right below this bedpost, so we won't lose that, but we will lose the center one. Alright, got the bedside all marked up. We'll start from this end and work our way that way. Just a few points. On this cut here, right at this curve, you have the underside of this bed. So try to make your line, your cut, right on the flat spot. You are going to go just a little bit past this turn, but it doesn't affect this. Alright, got the bedside all marked up where we need to cut. We're going to take 8 3/4 off this center section all the way through. We're going to break it down in 3 sections. We'll call this the rear section. This piece comes out. Spot welds are already broken. This whole piece will shift up. So I have it marked here C2. This corner will now be on this corner. On this end here, the bed actually sits here. So again, 8 3/4. The only thing you have to worry or watch on this side is that this measurement, 8 3/4, the back of these beds always took a beating. So like on, for example, on this side here, I cut 8 3/4, but you see the gap. So the bed side on this corner is actually pushed down. These are factory spots. I've seen it more times than none. People come in here and they weld this. I guess it flexes open. So don't be surprised if your 8 3/4 is wrong and you have a big gap like that. Like on this case here. So we're gonna hope that this side is right. Take 8 3/4. Notice there's a taper along this edge. We try to stay straight as well here. We're gonna cut inside the tape line. On the center section, it's a little bit more involved because we're actually gonna move everything up. So 7 inches. If we were to have raised the bed 7 inches, it would be no problem. We wouldn't have to modify the inner fenders. From here to the bottom of the bedside is 7 inches. So because we're going 8 3/4, we're going to have to section the inner fender 1.5 inches, and that's where we're going to make this cut line, right about here. These two pieces, this piece here and this piece here, will get moved up to this corner. So this triangle piece here will get moved up to that corner. This lip, or this top piece, will essentially right about here all the way up. The front piece, straightforward. Take your 8 3/4 there, 8 3/4 max. We're going to come up a little bit on the bottom side of that bedpost, but that's okay. Like I said, basically take 8 3/4, shift that up. On this piece here, this corner will now live there. You do have this curved edge, but it's not on the bottom side too, so it's not on the bottom side, so you're not going to cut into the outside piece, so don't worry about that. Cut on the flattest part, because if you cut anywhere above here, like for example this line, it slants, but then over here it's straight flat, so you're going to have some issues. Just make your cut line on the flat piece. The only other concern that I have on this particular bedside is it's already got a ding here. So if it's too close, we may just have to push this out or bang this out a little bit. When you make your cut lines, when you shift everything up, you can go straight to your cut line. Just take in mind the width of your cutoff wheel when you make the vertical cuts. But I'll get everything cut and moved up and then kind of show you where we're tacking stuff in place. Alright, here's all the inner structure cut out. And here are all the pieces. So, since we're sectioning the inner fenders 1.5 inches, one thing I left out on the other videos is if we drop this down, it's obviously, sorry, not gonna line up with that. So we'll need to find center, cut it in half, and then separate the two, and we'll just have to build a centerpiece for that. So I'm gonna clean all this up so we can start tacking it on the bedside. One thing to be careful about is this is galvanized, so it's when you start welding, you're gonna get that white fume come out, and it's dangerous. So be sure to clean both sides. I usually go about 3/4 inch or 1 inch past my cut lines, both sides. That way, when you go to tack, it minimizes the amount of galvanized that you start welding into. So let me clean all this up, and then I'm gonna start tacking it up on the bedside. All right, got all the pieces cleaned up. What we're gonna do is start tacking everything in place. We can actually go straight up to the panel here. That lines up there. One thing to remember is when you tack everything vertical, you can go straight up to the panel. Sorry, horizontal. But on the vertical pieces, be sure not to butt everything close to it, because then what's going to happen is you're going to go 1/16. By the time you get to it, you're going to go off. Your measurement won't be correct. So on the vertical pieces, be sure to leave your blade or your cutoff width. You're just going to have to go in there. We're going to TIG everything up after we MIG it just to tack weld it. So we'll carefully fill that 1/16 gap. Here's this panel over here. Here's what it looks like on the end. Go straight up right there. So let me get this piece and that piece. One thing you might want to do before you put the bedside on is chase all the threads on the square nuts. That way when you go to mount it, you're not cross-threading any of the nuts, and it's just easier to bolt back on. David's in the process of taking that inner bed fender off. You will have to section this or cut this off the corner itself. You can come straight down here. What happens is the tail light lens housing will rest up on that, so it'll hit it. So just take this corner piece off. That way the headlight lens itself, tail light lens, I'm sorry, won't hit this corner. All right, there it is, bolted up. We got lucky on this one here. We don't have that gap there. Everything sits nice and flush. Same here. Kind of dark, can't tell, but it bolts up down there. See them right here. And then here's the end cap. Bolts up. We'll have to fill this piece in, but all this lines up. There it is. So now what I'll do is I'm going to start sectioning the inner fender and work that piece there. So There it is. That's the tricky part, just because when you make your lines, it's not 1 inch straight across. It'll be 1.5 inch, I'm sorry, on the face, but when you come on this curve, on the slant, it'll actually expand. So it's like triple measure before you cut anything on this one.